Let me reiterate that we will take all allegations of crime seriously and trigger our security service investigative machinery to go after criminals, no matter who they are. But let me state emphatically also that we do not have the resources and time to engage in any game of smoke and mirrors. The Ghana Armed Forces is engaged in several theaters to maintain peace and security in our nation. One major flashpoint continues to be the Boku area. Only 2 days ago, an incident in a marketplace triggered an unfortunate loss of lives and criminal vandalism of property. I wish to emphasize that nobody gains from this situation of conflict and insecurity. We have triggered the H.E mediation process, which saw all stakeholders participate in discussions in Kumasi on a roadmap
Creed Adjutant Captain Rev.Ntim Fordjour is riding the horse Justice. Presentation of the commissioning package to the British Commission Office by the review officer will take place at the entry room of the officer arrangements. Access to the mess is controlled, so all are humbly requested to cooperate with the security as the march of parade will be decorated with the appropriate ranks.
You shall leave the walls of this academy as proud members of the Ghana Armed Forces, just as many have done before you. Congratulations, my dear graduates of regular career course intake 63. Ladies and gentlemen, 9 years ago, I was here to perform a similar function as Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces. It gives me a great sense of nostalgia to be here again today. And as faith and the uncertainties of life would have it, I'm back again to preside over this auspicious ceremony. I'm grateful to the Almighty God and highly elated to be part of this graduation parade and commissioning ceremony. I wish to assure you that my administration and the entire Ghanaian people stand strongly with you in your bid to serve and protect our nation. Mother Ghana demands your devotion and your patriotic service. My dear officer cadets of the Ghana Armed Forces, you stand here today as a testament to the values of discipline, courage, and dedication that define the Ghana Armed Forces. This is because you have all successfully surmounted the rigors of the commissioning course. You have endured the arduous physical and intellectual training. You've overcome countless challenges and proved yourselves worthy of the Presidential Commission. It is worth admitting that the spectacular display you have put up this morning is evidence of the months of dedication and commitment to your training in the Ghana Military Academy. As a result, today we celebrate your achievements and look forward to the significant contributions you will make to our nation, to our sub-region, to our continent, and to the entire world. Ladies and gentlemen, the smart and well-coordinated drills and formations, as well as the prompt responsiveness of the contingent to the parade commander's orders, connote the high standard of training these resilient men have gone through. I'm convinced that your relatives who are gathered here today, and even those watching from far away through various networks, will be proud of your professional appearance and your smart display. Yeah, they deserve an applause, yeah? The credit also goes to the Armed Forces High Command and the Commandant of the Ghana Military Academy and his untiring instructors who, through service, devotion, and sacrifice, have turned these cadets from, I was going to say bloody civilians, from civilians, you didn't hear bloody, to the officers that they are becoming today. I know you call us bloody civilians. I see you as officers ready to contribute your quota to defending the territorial integrity of our country and to protecting our democracy. Certainly, the Ghana Military Academy has remained resolute and well-focused in achieving its mandate, notwithstanding some challenges it faces. This academy has a very rich history of training many of West Africa's great and famous military leaders. Talking about academics in relation to the Ghana Armed Forces, I'm particularly elated about the coming on stream of the National Defense University with a presidential charter. The charter provides the Ghana Armed Forces the mandate to explore and facilitate extensive teaching and learning towards more effective national defense and security. Conceptually, as one of the constituent colleges of the National Defense University, the Ghana Military Academy will receive the needed facilities to achieve its mandate. This intervention will actualize the upgrading of the commissioning course to a postgraduate diploma status for newly commissioned officers. And so when the officers are commissioned, they'll come out with a postgraduate diploma. I am committed to supporting the National Defense University to realize its full potential. This specialized institution will run strategic academic courses to support government's efforts for strategic higher education for qualified Ghanaians, civilians, and the military. The university will certainly be another opportunity to incorporate and mainstream military discipline and doctrine in our people, pursuing higher education with a view to accelerating our Reset Ghana agenda. Ladies and gentlemen, the Minister for Defense has informed me that the Ghana Military Academy, as we see it today, has only undergone its first phase of expansion, and it is awaiting a second phase and even a third phase. In complementing the need to make the facilities more functional, I'll give attention to your urgent requirement for a sports complex with a modern gymnasium and a swimming pool. And also the construction of an outer perimeter road to facilitate training in the academy. Distinguished guests, our sub-region is affected by the scourge of terrorism. Terrorist attacks close to our northern border have become a regular feature. Ghana is also not immune from the influence and effects of the complex challenges posed by the global security environment. This is because globally non-state security actors are becoming, or in some instances, have already become central and pivotal. This situation requires a comprehensive approach to state security, and one cannot underestimate the importance of active participation of all our citizens in the security and stability of our state. As citizens of Ghana, we must recognize that the nature of contemporary threats that confront us demand that we do not perceive our security services as the exclusive institutions responsible for our safety and security. The complementary roles of individuals, organizations, and the government in national security is of critical importance. I urge our citizens in discharging this complementary duty of helping to safeguard our security not to behave like the shepherd boy in the famous fable who cried, "Wolf, wolf," when there was no wolf. If we behave like that boy, either for partisan or parochial interest, we distract the attention of our security services from focusing on their critical job of keeping us safe. Let us support our security services and the Ghana Armed Forces with information that is useful and intelligence that is helpful, that will advance their work rather than retrogress it. Let me reiterate that we will take all allegations of crime seriously and trigger our security service investigative machinery to go after criminals, no matter who they are. But let me state emphatically also that we do not have the resources and time to engage in any game of smoke and mirrors. The Ghana Armed Forces is engaged in several theaters to maintain peace and security in our nation. One major flashpoint continues to be the Boku area. Only 2 days ago, an incident in a marketplace triggered an unfortunate loss of lives and criminal vandalism of property. I wish to emphasize that nobody gains from this situation of conflict and insecurity. We have triggered the Otumfor mediation process, which saw all stakeholders participate in discussions in Kumasi on a roadmap towards peace. I'm assured by the Asantehene that the process will resume next week when he returns from his brief visits abroad. Congratulations to our armed forces for the sacrifices you have made, even at the peril of your lives, to protect life and property in the Boku conflict area. We need the cooperation of all to restore peace in Boku and its environs, and I entreat all sides to embrace peace as we dialogue to resolve this age-old dispute. Distinguished guests, plans for the expansion of the Ghana Armed Forces to ensure increased capacity to counter both internal and external threats were initiated while I was in office in my previous term. During this period, we supervised the acquisition of air, land, and sea assets to equip the armed forces to fulfill their mandate of keeping our nation safe. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, in resetting our nation to build the Ghana we want, my government will aggressively pursue the ideas of operational and combat readiness of the Ghana Armed Forces. We will resource the armed forces.
All right. Africa Bravo, vi. Faccio ah, se sta nice. Sta, merda.
Having asked permission, we commander will dismiss the newly commissioned officers